Hi, it's State Representative Jim Walsh here on the floor of the State House in Olympia. I've been getting so many questions, emails, comments about the upcoming special session. So I want to dedicate most of this segment to just talking about that, how it works, what's involved. At the end of the regular session, about 2 weeks ago now, there was an unusual event. The so-called Blake Fix, which was a piece of legislation designed to address certain issues raised by the Washington State Supreme Court decision, State v. Blake, that effectively decriminalized the possession and use of hard drugs, fentanyl, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, etc. That attempt to address the issues raised by the state Supreme Court in the so-called fix failed. It came to the floor of the House here and didn't get enough votes to pass, which was a surprise to some. The session ended, as it normally does, at its normal deadline, and then the issue of fixing the Blake decision was left unresolved. So the governor, as he is allowed to do, has called for a special legislative session that will start on May 15th and go for as long as it needs to, or up to 30 days. So the legislators will come back to Olympia and will negotiate a better fix, we hope, to the Blake decision. Now, this is a situation where the fix was being negotiated as the regular session ended. So the kind of four corners of the debate or the discussion or the negotiation are pretty well established. But we haven't been able to get to a place that there was enough bipartisan or even party line support for any of the proposals that one got across the floor. To simplify slightly, what the State v. Blake decision said was that the existing statute, which made possession of hard drugs a Class C felony, needed to have some language added, specifically the word knowingly, so that in order to be found guilty of the Class C felony, a person would have to knowingly possess the hard drugs. Rather than just taking that advice from the state Supreme Court and inserting that simple word into the existing law, the legislature has tried to combine other elements of drug policy into its Blake fix. This has made the process much more complicated. What we face now is a kind of negotiated place where what we're trying to do is reestablish the knowing possession of those hard drugs as not a Class C felony anymore, but as a gross misdemeanor, with specific language added to the law about diversion programs, so-called drug courts or therapeutic courts, and other options to sending a person to jail for the gross misdemeanor. It's in that other language, the diversion language, the drug or therapeutic court language, that most of the disagreement has taken place. What happened when the bill came to the floor here and failed was that a kind of coalition of conservative members who would like to see the penalty remain a C felony, and very far left members who believed that the possession of hard drugs should be not criminalized at all, both voted no. And those who were sort of in the middle of those two and voted yes on the compromise package didn't have enough votes. So the gist of the special session will be negotiating all those elements of the legislature to some kind of place where there could be enough common ground agreement on how much of a penalty to have in the law and how to describe and implement those diversion programs will strike the right balance between criminal enforcement and compassionate care to try to get people healthy, try to get people to stop using and off of drugs. That's what the special session will be focused on. Now, one of the tricks to the whole thing is that once we open a special session, in theory, all kinds of policy matters and even some budget matters could be discussed. So the challenge on the part of the legislative leadership will be to keep the efforts that take place during the special session tightly focused, just on finding that right balance to the State v. Blake decision that we were not able to find during the regular session. So there are a lot of moving pieces, a lot going on, but what we hope is that rather quickly in this special session, we will be able to reach a place with a better legal and public policy solution to the matter of possession of these hard drugs. That's it for this week. We will be here on the floor soon in our special session, and I'll update you more on how we hope to do better than we did at the end of the last regular. Until then, be well, and this is Representative Jim Walsh.